Okay, so one of the biggest questions today is, what do you believe are the reasons why some veterans are able to find success after the military, and why are some veterans not able to find success, whatever that may be? Does it have to do with the military? Does it have to do with what we experienced in combat? Does it have to do with just how we were raised or how we are as a person and what our characteristics are like?
Well, I think you're hearing a lot of that from different people in this panel here. That a lot of the people that joined came from chaos already, and that's what made those of us that came out of chaos such good sailors and Marines and Army guys, that we were able to manage that chaos because that had kind of been our whole life. And then once you're no longer a war fighting guy that's able to charge in at every single crisis that comes up, it's like, how do you manage the chaos then? The structure that's built around you in the military is one that's set up to help you not fail. And so you have everything from every meal plan, on the 1st and the 15th that you're going to get more money, and everything else is the structure of it is built in a way that is sustaining. But then when you don't have that structure anymore, it's really hard to pick up the pieces and make it for yourself. I think the thing that you get from the military, and the thing that we're trying to give these veterans back here that live in our village, is that sense of belonging and being a part of a community, being a part of something and building something that's really important, like going to war or helping your brother next to you. And I think most guys that served are like me, and whoever the CO was or the commandant of the Marine Corps, like that doesn't really matter. It's the guy that's next to you. It's that's what you're here for, and that's what you're fighting for. And then you get out and you don't have that brother that's going to give you that desire to fight for him and to be that rock, to be able to be somebody to lean on. If you don't have that anymore, it's like, what's the point?
The military teaches a lot of great things, but they are an ultimate safety net. And I'm not just saying from the standpoint of being able to provide, if you're active duty, you're not going to go hungry. You're always going to have a place to sleep, and the next paycheck's just a couple weeks away, and it's guaranteed. But it's also the safety net of the people that you're with, right? Like that closeness and that bond. If that's the ultimate pick-me-up, right? And if for a lot of people, you can't really replicate it after you get out unless it's with a bunch of other people that served. So I think that's the real safety net that goes away, and trying to replicate that on top of trying to find the next mission, the next thing to do, it can just be really overwhelming for a lot of people. And it's not a skill set. You get a lot of skill sets in the military, but overcoming that isn't one of them. So some people got to figure it out, and some people struggle with it.
I think really there's, in my mind, two things that really come into play to truly become successful. And the first one, and probably the biggest one, is being lucky. And then, the second one I would say is probably ability, right? And ability and personality, and they kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah, for me, it's more so the whys. The reason why I didn't follow through with suicidal ideation when I first started feeling one of my PTSD triggers first kicked in was because I was going to the VA, and a lot of my brothers were telling me, man, you got to come back. We want to talk to you. That was my why at the time. The reason why I didn't follow through after that was because I started having children. They were my why after that. Now that my children, I'm 100%. I don't have to work another day in life. But my whys, my children were graduating. They're leaving home, going off to college. My why then became Park University, going back to school. Then once I'm done, once I graduate, I need to find another why. When you ETS, they ask you, what are you gonna do, and how are you gonna do it? But nobody ever asks, why are you doing it? And I think my why, and for those veterans that really don't succeed, I think that we need to develop a why. Why should they?
It's very difficult, but I have to have a silver lining in everything that I do. I can never be a never guy. I'm never going to be better. It's never going to be like it was. I have to have some semblance of hope that it will. And the only thing that drives me on a daily basis, because otherwise I would be right back in that hole. I'd be right back at the end of that pistol, taking that whole bottle of pills, is the people that sit around this table.
I'm the complete opposite of everyone else. I cut everyone out of my life, and I was happy about that. I did have a lot of, what would you guys say? Not chaos. What was it? Yeah, toxic people. Yeah. So, and these were friends I've had for 10, 15 years. And it was the greatest thing getting rid of them. No, I didn't get rid of them. I'm Italian, so it wasn't like I made concrete shoes and took them to the lake or something. But
They just weren't brothers anymore.
right, and these were civilian friends of mine, that I grew up with. And it's not that they did anything wrong. It's just I felt like I was going a different direction they were. As far as being successful, getting out of the military, I think it's all individual based. My drive was to not be like how my parents were. It had nothing to do with the military. Had nothing to do with the military at all. I was scared of being poor. That was my fear. That's why I started work literally the day after I got out.
I feel pretty inadequate to what I used to be able to do to what I'm able to do now. I mean, I've been out for maybe 5 years in May, and I'm still coming to grips with the fact that I'm really am disabled.
It's the community that which we went and fought and served for. Like, we are nothing. Yes, we're veterans, outstanding, but we're nothing without the individuals that support us, that we went and fought this dream for. So I think a lot of individuals need that. I can tell you right now, for me, one of the reasons why I was successful and I try to do it is because I love a challenge. You told me what it is you wanted to have happen here. You have no idea how much I had to do to get each one of these individuals in this room here, whether it was nagging, bugging, getting slapped in the face, whatever I had to do. But it's a challenge, and some of us transition because we do or do not find community.
I mean, it's a combination of all of these things that make veterans either succeed in whatever they want to do or not succeed. But it also comes down to the individual veteran themselves. You can't help somebody that doesn't want to be helped. The military, when I got out of the military, they didn't tell me nothing. They were just like, oh, here's some check and some money later. So they didn't give me any resources. The VA doesn't really give you any resources either. They're just like, hey, you got an appointment tomorrow, come and be there. Until projects like this, Veterans Community Project, or even the Wounded Warrior Project, I would have not known anything coming out of the military. They would have just kicked me in the butt, gave me some money, and said, see you later. Projects like this are actually helping veterans get off of the streets, helping veterans deal with their PTSD problems and their medical issues. It's a combination of all of it. You can't help somebody that doesn't want to be helped, but you also can't be helped if you don't know what there is to help you.
So yes, as we come to a close, my next question, and a couple of you guys have already touched on it, is talk to us about the resources that you found getting out. You know, what resources were lacking, what resources helped you, what resources do we need to do a better job at implementing for our veterans today?
The fact that any of us had to go register at the VA after we got out of the military is an issue. You don't know that, right? So you go in the first time for help, and their response is, well, you're not registered. It's not an effective system. So anybody who says or maybe wants to understand why the process of accessing services is difficult It's because there is a process. There just shouldn't be one.
It's obviously not a perfect system, but there is a system. And I think that's, one positive that we all need to look at. So I think it's important to also realize that there's a whole population out there that isn't getting the help they need it or the treatment they need, just simply out of fear of the system itself and the repercussions of that system. So not only should it be a conversation of how can we fix the broken system, but how can we also reach that population of people that intentionally stay away from that system. And
We have to figure out a way to let veterans know that the VA doesn't care.
And that all leads me into Veterans Community Project. And I'm not going to get into a sales pitch, but I believe it's organizations like this that are really going to be the answer moving forward. And obviously, VCP can't do it nationally 100% by yourselves, but it's going to be organizations similar to ours that really get the word out, help each other, and reach that population of people who the guy in the corner scares.
I think personally that when we speak about resources, I myself, about 8-9 years ago, I was homeless here in Kansas City. I was living in City Union Mission, and they have a routine where you have to be naked. You hold a basket with all your things in the basket to take a shower. So we were what in the Marine Corps we call nut to butt. Excuse my French. But and a gentleman, it was another veteran that saw my tattoo, my USMC tattoo, and he asked me. He said, "You're a veteran. You're pretty young." I said, "Well, yeah, I am sort of." I didn't want to speak to him until he introduced himself as Sergeant. I forgot his name or whatever. And he's the one that actually introduced me to the VA. I never for one second knew that I had benefits.
Community isn't defined by four walls. Community, it's like the same as church. Church isn't combined by four walls. It's what you do outside those four walls that's important. And the more that we grasp the fact that this guy's toxic and we need to go embed ourselves, go to where the veterans are. One of the key things that, again, that what I've seen at Community Project, what I've seen at the Vet Center, what I've seen at people that do well at the VA and different organizations is they go out to where the veteran is.
So, yeah, I just wanted to say that obviously, we touched on a lot of really personal and important topics today. And it just goes to show you that how powerful being together as veterans really is. So, if you're not already doing it, make it a point today to reach out to more veterans, to help out more organizations. Find your purpose. If you don't have a purpose anywhere else, this is your purpose here. We are each other's purpose. And as we all can agree that the best support that we're going to find is right here within ourselves. So I appreciate everybody's time today. You guys are going to be helping a lot of people down the road, and a lot of you already are. So I appreciate what you guys do. So thanks a lot.